Happy anniversary to F. Scott Fitzgerald's first novel. Today we're looking at the origin of This Side of Paradise, the debut novel of F. Scott Fitzgerald, and the book that helped define an entire generation. 1917. Let's start in 1917. Fitzgerald is young, still at Princeton, and then in military training during World War I. At this stage, he writes an early version of the novel called The Romantic Egotist. This first draft is raw, personal, full of ambition, and what he called egotistic epigrams. It's not yet polished, but the voice is already there. 1919. Rewrite. Now jump to 1919. Fitzgerald is in St. Paul, Minnesota. Here he completely reworks the manuscript. This isn't just editing, it's a transformation. He reshapes the story, refines the structure, and starts chasing something bigger, a new rhythm, and the idea of the American dream. This is where the book truly becomes This Side of Paradise. 1920. Publication. Then, March 26, 1920, the novel is published, and almost overnight, Fitzgerald becomes famous. He's just 23 years old. The book's success changes everything. His career takes off. His voice is suddenly heard across the country, and he marries Zelda Sayre. This moment doesn't just launch a writer, it helps ignite what we now call the Jazz Age. So what made this novel matter so much? First, it introduced what we might call the romantic egoist, a main character who is self-aware, restless, and struggling between illusion and reality. Second, the novel captured a generation. Young people after the war, caught between hope and disillusionment. Fitzgerald described it as a kind of emotional intensity, a mania of bliss and rage. And finally, there's the spirit of possibility, the belief that everything is open, everything is uncertain, but everything is still possible. As Fitzgerald himself put it, everything is a game, everything is possible. In the end, This Side of Paradise is more than a first novel. It's a transformation, from a young writer finding his voice to a cultural figure defining an era. And it all begins with a rough draft, a rewrite, and one moment of publication that changed everything.